What happened last night?
Well, Strider was terrible. I mean, a great pitcher, one of the best young pitchers in baseball, is going to have an off night. It just so happened to happen after we had 2 other losses. So it kind of gets magnified because when you're rolling out some of the stiffs we're rolling out until Wright gets back there, you really depend on Strider to step up. And with Elder leaking and Morton not being sharp, that you needed Strider to kind of stop the bleeding. And all he did last night, unfortunately, that third man, he imploded and he lost his cool. He lost his composure.
Yeah, I wasn't even home. All right, I actually stopped last night at Papados. Big shout out to folks at Papados. They're listeners of the show.
I saw the drink. I couldn't tell where it was.
Yeah, Papados. Yeah. It's a swamp thing. If you've been there, I said, if you know, you know. But I walked in and a couple of guys were like, Dukes, what's up? I was like, how do you guys know? And then I forgot I had a 92.9 The Game shirt.
Well, that's a dead giveaway.
Yesterday. But I wasn't even home yet. And Turtle literally texted us and was like, Strider's done for the night. And I was like, thinking injury. 2 1/3? I mean, it was awful.
No, and when you see when you're watching baseball, if it's 3-0, most batters are going to take, and he couldn't even get a 3-0 fastball over the plate. So that was. I mean, it was a bit frustrating. And look, it's a guy of his caliber. We've seen what this guy has done in a very brief career. He's one of the best. But this is one of those nights where he just didn't have it. So you just laugh it off. As we said, unfortunately, he just comes in the middle of the Braves kind of struggling right now.
So is the glass half full or is it half empty?
I mean, you do laugh this off, right? Or we don't laugh this off.
I'm hesitant to laugh it off only because this is a trend right now.
Right.
You just had 3 of your starters, Elder, Morton, and Strider, suck. They were not good in their outings. It doesn't mean they suck. It doesn't mean that they're not good. We know they're good. But this is a stretch where none of our starting pitchers over the last 3 or 4 days have been worth a damn. So, Mike, I don't know if I laugh this off. I say glass half full or glass half empty. Mm-hmm. You start looking at this and you go, okay, how good have we been since the All-Star break? That's why the Cubs series was such a big deal, because it was a litmus test for them. They had been playing well, and everybody said, oh, well, the Braves are going to come in and kick your butts. And then they handled business. So you go to the Pirates, who've not been great, and they score 6 runs just like that, and you go, okay, is this a trend? What's going on? So I don't know. I mean, I want to laugh it off and say, hey, we're going to be fine. Last night our offense almost saved us, but that's the issue, Mike.
But again, last year when we had the Braves, and the Braves didn't really, when they had that awful start and then they got on a groove, whenever they did struggle, it seemed like Kyle Wright was the backstop. Kyle Wright was the guy that would come in and get you a win. And I guess, we assumed that Strider was going to be that guy. Well, rest assured, Carl, Strider, Schmider, you've got Yanni Chirinos on the bump tonight, so he'll stop the bleeding. Look, it's a bad Pirates team. You set them up. And I just thought, once you got Beto knocked out of the box, their starting pitcher looked really good the first 3 innings. I thought this was just going to be it. The problem was, and this is the continuing problem with this bullpen, when the Braves make it close, Tonkin comes in and gives up a solo home run. So all the momentum goes right out the friggin' window. And if he doesn't, maybe you've got a tie and maybe you're going into extras. But, the bullpen has been really mediocre. Starting pitching has not been great. And now we're 10-11 since the All-Star break.
Yeah. So you're laughing that off? 10-11? See, this is why June was so crazy. When we won 25 of 30 games in June, everybody said, this is unbelievable. And I said, baseball, it will even out. We're not going to be this in July and August. We haven't been that in July, and we're certainly not that to start August. This is why things shake out over the course of 162. Now, the good news is the lineup is the lineup. Last night, Olsen, 2 hits, 2 RBI. Ozzie had a home run. Riley, 2 hits. This is what we do. Ozuna, RBI single. So, Mike, the lineup is continuing to rake, and they're going to keep us in games. But we cannot allow teams to get out to these kinds of starts and expect to score, Chris. This is your point, blooper. This is Chris's point. 8 or 9 or 10 runs every game just because the lineup has been good. You can't allow this kind of thing to happen.
I mean, and I'll steal a page from our Falcons football coach, Arthur Smith. It's a surface narrative if you just look at the ERA. If you just look at the record, it's a surface narrative, and I'll use that phrase because you don't know baseball. I'll say it to Braves fans who are sitting here telling me that we're crying over spilt milk. We don't know what we're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. This won't wash in October. And it hasn't 2 of the last 3 years. And I don't care what. Our general manager came on Dukes and Bell and said there was nobody that was untouchable at the trade deadline. So if it meant going to get a guy like Flaherty and renting him for 3 months, so be it. Let's go stack the deck. Why do we go now into the dog days of summer with hope and a prayer that Kyle Wright will be fine? You don't know if Kyle Wright will be fine. And even if he is fine, we still need more pitching. But I'm sick and tired of arguing this with Braves fans who apparently feel 1 World Series out of 3 years, I guess, is okay. I want to win every stinking year, don't you? And you got a lineup 1 through 9 that can do it this year. But you're coming up short. You got a pitching problem. But nobody wants to talk about it.
We talked about Charlie Morton's walks during these 4 losses, 15 walks. Last night, Strider had 3. See, that's un-Strider-like. He puts people on base. He wasn't able to place his pitches last night. And then you talk about only 3 strikeouts. Well, again, we're so used to him striking out 10 or more, but he wasn't going to get there just pitching 2 2/3 innings. 404-726-0929. You laugh it off? We may win the series, okay, guys? It's the Pirates.
Right.
I hear you. But to Mike's point, a stopper tonight, this is not the guy you expect to be the guy to come in and give you 7 strong innings and you go, woo! Yanni, man, he shut him down tonight. This is not what I expect. He may do it, but I don't expect it.
No. So, again, the point we're getting to is, what's the point? The point is the pitching's not been good enough. And we didn't – look, there's really, I guess, no sense of crying about it, other than we were right and some of you Braves fans are wrong when it comes to where we're at. I mean, this is your bullpen. You're going to get some guys back. Chavez will come back, but you're making Chavez sound like he's Mariano Rivera. That's not how it works. Same goes for Dylan Lee.
Follow us, guys. He's Mike Bell, ATL. I'm at Put 'em Up. See Dukes, the radio show. Dukes and Bell 929. Follow the radio station at 929 The Game.